swing high. It's a deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bond stands alone.
Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes.
There it is.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Taproom Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. Stacks on Stacks on Stacks Flats. Joined, as always, with my guy, Mr. Big Ballin' Ben Larson. Live and direct. Sunday night. We're recapping the week. Got a lot to talk about tonight. We got some NBA free agency since it just started. Got some big, for once something like happens before we go on, which is cool. So,
Yeah, I'm sure we'll hear something.
yeah, we might hear
while
some.
we're on.
Yeah, we really might. We might get some breaking news while we're on. So we got that going on. We got Wimbledon starting tomorrow. We have the NHL Draft that just happened. Shout out Macklin Celebrini. Sharks #1 overall pick, first #1 overall pick in franchise history. We also
should be second, but
and we also have a lot of Major League Baseball to talk about, of course.
Yep.
Ton of Major League Baseball. Had a lot go on this week. Got a lot going on the next 2 weeks, so we'll get into that, all of that. Make sure to go to Sharps, download the Sharps app to your mobile device, SHARPZ. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download, free to use. Sharps app, become a better. Track your bets, become a better. So with all that being said, Ben, how are we doing on this Sunday evening?
Doing well, man. Exhaustingly long weekend. So went to a speakeasy last night, which was pretty fucking cool. Had to find the White Rabbit. You have to go through it's like a German Broughton beer restaurant. Follow the White Rabbit down the stairs, and then there's a bookshelf, and you have to wave your hand in front of the White Rabbit. It's got a little motion sensor thing on it, and then the bookshelf opens up into a full bar down below.
Where's this at?
In San Mateo.
Okay.
So it's off the beaten path. It's not in like the main downtown area, which is kind of shows more of the mystique behind it. But yeah, it was great fucking drinks, man. Really good bartender making great recipes. So it was pretty cool.
Speakeasy's got to have good bartenders.
Yep.
It's like the one thing you got to do at a speakeasy.
Yeah, small place too. Like you can only have reservations up to 5 people, and then you're timed, so you only have, I think it was an hour and a half.
Hold on, so you have to make reservations and then you have to find it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
All right.
So
it's unique.
Yeah.
Do they have food there too, or just drinks?
No, just drinks. The food is upstairs in the Broughton beer area.
Actually, being there an hour and a half is probably good because the drinks are probably like $15 to $20 a drink.
They are $17 a drink. Yep. So it was, it was a good thing we weren't sitting there sipping on a really good plays on drinks too. So they have like your normal. I had a kind of a knockoff of a Manhattan and an old fashioned.
Okay.
I love the brown stuff. So I went with the whiskey drinks, but the old fashioned knockoff was with horchata, so it had a little bit of
cinnamon,
like a cinnamony, milky kind of bit to it, and then they put some cinnamon toast crunch. They float some on top of the ice cubes, which surprisingly was really fucking good.
Yeah, it sounds fucking. See, that's the kind of drinks that you like. You just like they taste so good. You're just
yeah. Oh yeah. And then the Manhattan was just a little bit of a play off of it, and it was a little more licoricey from one of the liqueurs that they put in there. So it was bomb though.
Interesting. Love that.
How's your weekend going?
My weekend's been good, man. It's been a good. It's been a good weekend. We didn't hit a golf outright for like the first time in 4 weeks, which fucking blows. But, we had a good weekend.
Shot off.
Yeah, we were shot off, and we had a good weekend, man. We had a good weekend, and Major League Baseball is heating up, and it's been a great season. So,
got to watch the Dodgers lose.
Yeah, the Dodgers lost a series. But yeah, man, I mean, this is one of the most interesting MLB seasons that I can remember, because it's just like it's not one team that's just like blows you away and is like, yeah, they're gonna win. And like we thought the Phillies were, but now the Phillies are dealing with a lot of injuries, and I mean, we even before the season we thought the Orioles were gonna be that, and they're dealing with a ton of injuries. So we'll get into Major League Baseball though shortly, but I do want to touch on the NBA first. Obviously, we had the NBA draft this week, Wednesday and Thursday. Zachary Ricochet was the number 1 overall pick. Alex Sarr number 2. It was a weird draft. I mean, we all kind of knew that it was going to be a weird draft because there's not a like any star power of guys that like people think are going to be good players or great players. I mean, obviously they can come about, but there wasn't those prospects that just like stood out to you and were like, oh my God, this guy is the number 1 overall pick. Zachary Ricochet and Alex Sarr and even Cody Williams at one point was, rumored to be going number 1 at some point in the last 6-7 months. So it was a crazy draft in the aspect of that. But then we get free agency that starts today. Chris Paul gets away from the Warriors, Ben. Right before we come on, Woj tweets out that Paul George is not going back to the Clippers, which basically leaves the 76ers unless something crazy goes down that like we can't even foresee. But the Sixers have the most cap space, so it makes the most sense.
Well, but also at the same time, weren't the Clippers and the Warriors trying to make a deal? Was that revolving around Clay or
no? That was a rumored trade, but at the end of the day, it's like I don't know why the Clippers would be interested in trading Paul George to the Warriors. That's a division rival.
Well, if they knew that he wasn't going to sign, but
I mean, even if I was the Clippers, I'd rather him walk than trade him to a division rival. Although I don't think Paul George moves the needle like that. At least not anymore. Like he's older and he's injured a lot, and he's also not good historically in the playoffs. So with all that being said, it makes sense for him to go to the Sixers. So him and Joel Embiid, who are both often injured and both choke in the playoffs, they can do that shit together.
Do it together.
It just makes total sense. But yeah, it's gonna be a wild NBA free agency because the CBA now is just so difficult for teams to navigate around, and I think we're gonna see a lot of moves. And then obviously everyone's out there trying to beat the Celtics, who just won the NBA championship. So we'll see what happens there. Who've signed so far? Do we have a?
I mean, we got a long list. So we've got let's see.
I know a bunch of guys like opted out. Like LeBron opted out. He's probably going to take less money to sign. So
Najee Marshall agreed with the Mavs, a 3-year, $27 million. Derek Jones Jr. to the Mavs. Wait, hold on. Sorry. Is that who I just read? Plumlee with the Suns. Chris Paul with the Spurs.
Chris Paul signed with the Spurs. Harden's re-signed with the Sixers for 2 years, $70 million.
I thought I saw Harden was signing with the Clippers.
Yeah, the Clippers. That's what I said.
Oh, I thought you said the Sixers.
Clippers. He re-signed with the Clippers, 2 years, $70 million.
Valanciunas, 3 years, $30 million for the Wizards.
Yeah,
KCP with the Magic.
Yeah, KCP signed with the Magic. That's a good signing for the Magic. They need a veteran and they need a 3-point shooter and perimeter defender. That makes a ton of sense. I also thought, Paul George could have been a landing spot there. I don't think that's realistic anymore. But I mean, they could always sign like Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
Well, I think is washed now. By the way, I don't know if that's a great signing.
Andre Drummond headed to the Sixers on a 2-year deal. Did you just say that?
No.
Kevin Love with the Heat on a 2-year deal.
That makes sense.
Max Christie re-signing.
Yeah, you re-signed with the Lakers.
Bridges gets traded to the Knicks. That was what, 2 days ago?
Yeah. Bridges. Now they really are the Villanova Knicks.
Yeah. Obi Toppin staying with the Pacers.
Pacers basically re-signing everyone.
Yeah.
They re-signed Siakam too. Or extended him.
Right. Yeah, LeBron and Clay are talking.
Yeah, I mean, when the news of the Warriors and Clay parting ways, I figured obviously the first real destination probably the Lakers, but I do also think Denver could be a good landing spot because KCP went to Orlando. I also heard the Mavericks could be in play for Clay as well, so we'll see what happens there. I think with Najee Marshall signing, I think that kind of eliminates Clay, though. But we'll see what happens with free agency.
Who is the captain of the USC basketball team?
The captain of the USA basketball team?
USC.
Oh, Boogie Ellis.
Yeah. They somebody posted, let this sit in. And you have the 55th overall pick with 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists per game in Bronny. And then undrafted, 16.5 points, so almost 3 times as many. 3.5 rebounds and 3 assists.
Yeah, I got no issue with Bronny being drafted. It's a second-round pick. Second-round picks hardly ever make it anyways.
Yeah.
And I got no issue with LeBron flexing his muscle to get his kid drafted because, white people been doing that shit forever. And now a black guy does it because he's a professional basketball player and everyone's up in arms. Oh, nepotism. Like Jerry Jones, if you go look at the fucking, entire Cowboys front office, it's Jerry Jones' kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like.
It's funny. Rich Paul says Bronny would be in the NBA even if his name was John Smith. No.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Good for Bronny. Good for LeBron.
Yeah.
I like to see that shit. So I got no issue with it. Honestly,
Cunningham, holy, but Jesus is getting paid.
Who?
Cade Cunningham in Detroit.
Yeah, they use the number 1 pick on him, dude. You can't just let him.
Well, yeah, no, but 5 years, 226.
Yeah, that's a standard second contract.
Jesus.
I mean, dude hasn't even lived up to the hype either, but he also plays for the worst fucking franchise ever. Yeah. So there's also that. We'll see what happens. It's crazy with Cade because I thought that kid was gonna be hella good, but he's struck.
So, being the basketball guy, what signing so far do you think is kind of the best fit for their potential team?
Well, I think KCP is a great signing for Orlando. Orlando needed 3-point shooting. They needed a veteran because they're a very young team. Mm-hmm. So I think that makes a ton of sense, and I thought Clay would be a good landing spot for Orlando, but I mean I'd rather have KCP given that Clay's basically just washed now. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a great signing, great underrated signing. Wasn't a huge signing, but it's a good signing.
Yeah.
Love that.
Any of these free agents I think could be game changers. I mean, I guess the big ones left are just Paul George and Clay.
Yeah, I like personally, like I just think the best days of Paul George are behind him, and you know, like I said, like if he goes and signs with Philly, that's cool, but you know, you're putting together an underperformer who's in his mid 30, or he's like what is he, 32, 33 now, 34?
Let's see here.
He's got to be like 32 at least minimum.
Paul George is 34.
34 years old. A guy that's 34, you're signing him for 4 more years, so he's going to be 38 in the final year of that contract. He's an underperformer in the postseason, and he's always injured. Like, you already have that issue with Embiid. But if you're the Sixers, it's like, that improves your roster for sure, right? But does it put you over the edge of the Bucks and especially the Celtics? I don't think so. I would even probably argue that the Knicks are better. I don't know about that.
So he's played 12, 13, 14 years and has only played the full season 7 years.
Yeah, and he's like the last, like his whole Clipper tenure, he was hurt.
Sorry, 8, because bubble basketball wasn't a full season. So 8. He played the full season. Well, I mean, he played 74 games this year, so I'm going to give him that. And he played 54 of the 60 in bubble year, so.
Yeah, but then on the flip side too, Ben, like he doesn't show up in the playoffs. So, and he's gotten hurt in the playoffs a couple times too. Mm-hmm. Is it a good signing for the Sixers? Sure. Yeah. Upgrades their roster. Does it put them over the top? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I don't think at this point, like I think we've seen both him and Embiid enough to the point where it's like, I don't think either of those dudes are championship players. So when you put 2 non-championship players together, I don't know, dude. I just don't think they're
2 wrongs ain't making a right.
Yeah. They're just not championship players. So that's just where the Sixers are. All right, let's talk some baseball. That's why we're here.
Yep.
All right, so we got
crazy week.
That was a crazy week, and we got some tight races. The Yankees 3-7 in their last 10. Just really, really struggling. Their pitching has really regressed. Carlos Rodon. His ERA is almost a 5 now in his last 3 starts. Marcus Stroman has also regressed, and it's been a lot of regression for the Yankees, which I think anybody that watches baseball knew was going to come at some point. Mm-hmm. And Judge and Soto basically have to carry that offense every day. Like,
yep,
they don't get a ton of offense outside of them,
and they have been.
Yeah.
But when your pitchers can't stop a nosebleed, then it doesn't matter if you're putting up 5 runs because the other team's putting up 7.
Yep,
like
it's basically what it's been.
Yeah,
it's been insane for. I wouldn't even say insane because like we knew this regression was coming for the Yankees.
Yeah,
I think anybody except for Yankees fans knew it. And then on the flip side, you got a team like Houston who's 9-1 in their last 10. And that's a team that like got off to a very, very slow start. Pitching was terrible, and they've dealt with a ton of injuries. Kyle Tucker hasn't played since June 3rd, and here they are, 42-41, Ben, and they're literally only what 3.5, 4 back of the Mariners.
Yep, 3.5 games back of Seattle.
Yeah, I mean they're right there in that division race, and Seattle is a fucking mess. They're 3-7 in their last 10, and they can't hit. They're hitting 202 as a team. The worst in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, I want to say I guess this month has been better than their previous months, but it's just been so low.
They're so bad. Julio is not good anymore. Like, he's not good this year. Yeah. Ty France has shown signs of coming back to the player he was 2 years ago, but he's not there. And you don't really have anybody in that lineup that is like scares anybody.
Yeah, Cal Raleigh can, but he's so hot and cold. He
Well,
reminds me of Brandon Belt, where he'd go on like a week tear, but then he'd be cold for 3 weeks.
hey, he reminds me a lot of Joey Gallo.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah,
where
absolutely.
You're either getting a fucking home run, a strikeout, or a walk.
Yeah.
There's no in between, dude. And the home run, you're only getting 30 to 40 of those a year. So, there's 300 at bats. So you're splitting walks and strikeouts with the rest of them. And that's the problem. That's the problem with Cal Raleigh is, he strikes out way too fucking much.
Seattle so far this year batting .218. April they've hit .223. Then May they bumped up a whole 4 points and was batting .227 for the month of June. Since today's the last day of June, we can say for the month of June, .209.
Yeah,
with a 303 on base percentage, 372 slugging, and a 675 OPS.
Yeah, the team's not good, dude.
They're not good at all.
The fact that they're in first place is astonishing, dude. They have a 28% K rate, dude.
Yeah.
That's the worst in Major League Baseball.
Well, but they're free falling. They're absolutely free falling right now. 3-7 in their last 10. And they haven't been playing that difficult of teams.
Well, Minnesota's a really good team.
Yeah. I guess they had 3. But, you lose the series to the Rays. One of those games was nasty. You lose the series to the Marlins. You lose the series to the Guardians before that.
And now you've lost 4 series in a row.
Yeah.
After they had won before that Guardian series, they won 7 series straight.
Wow. No, because they lost the Kansas City series.
When was that?
That was in between Oakland and. So it was the Guardians. Then they swept the Rangers. They went 3 of 4 on the White Sox, and then they went 1 of 3 against Kansas City.
Was that the one in KC?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's just not a good ball club, dude. And I think you seriously have to start contemplating. Well, I bet the Astros, after they lost that series to the Mariners when they were like 7 back, and now they're 3.5 back. I'm pretty sure the number is probably like to win the division, probably like plus 160 or something.
Yeah,
maybe even lower. But I think you seriously have to start contemplating like looking at Astros futures, because I don't see a world where the Mariners, like as good as they are pitching, like their bullpen isn't good outside of Munoz. And their offense is just so atrocious, dude. Like you cannot count on them getting more than 3 runs a game, dude.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing in the last, 2 weeks or so is that like the pitchers, they can't go out there every day and give you a shutout, dude. Like it's scientifically impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And if you give up more than 3 runs, like the game's basically over. Like you have no confidence in your offense to score you more than 3 runs. You barely have confidence in your offense to score you 2 runs. You know what I mean? And so the Mariners, I don't know what the answer is, dude. I really don't, because I think even if they go make a trade, it's like who is on the market that's a big bat that they can go trade for that's going to like make a difference in this lineup. You know what I mean? Like who realistically is out there? Luis Rengifo? You think the Angels are going to trade within the division?
Yeah.
And if they do, they're gonna ask you for a lot.
Right? I think you could look at the AL East, where you could probably get Bo.
The Blue Jays are not. They've already come out and said they are not trading Bo Bichette and Vlad Guerrero.
And Vlad.
They're not trading those 2.
Okay.
Not happening.
That's a dumb move for Toronto.
Absolutely. They literally don't have any chance, and they I mean, things they could obviously be saying that publicly and doing something different. You know what I mean? Like that's what they're saying. They're saying they're not trading Bo and Vlad. They're very confident that they could build a winning team around them. Is what they're saying.
Well, they haven't yet. Since 2018. So
yeah.
I think you could look at Lubov maybe. But I mean, he's basically your identical player to Julio.
Nah, Lubov has way more raw power than Julio.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, like, your positioning.
You could put Lubov in left or right. I mean, if you could play center field, you could play anywhere in the outfield.
Yeah.
I just don't know if Jerry Dipoto is willing, or not necessarily Jerry Dipoto, but the ownership. I don't know if they're willing to like sell off minor league assets to acquire a guy like that, because they've done it for Luis Castillo, and then they gave Castillo an extension, right? Mm-hmm. You know, they traded Noelvi Marte. Sorry,
Novelli.
That was Noelvi. There's an L before the V.
I thought it was the other way around.
Nah. Noelvi Marte. But, you know, they traded him and they got Castillo, right? And, you know, they could really use, Noelvi right now, and they could use Jared Kalenic right now, and they traded both those dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Detroit, I don't think has the answer for them. LA, they're not going to trade within the division. Oakland's likely not going to trade within the division. I don't think Oakland really has anyone that would fit.
They got Brett Rooker.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I will say about baseball is MLB teams are much more likely to trade within the division because they're familiar with your prospects, right?
Yeah.
So it's not out of the realm of possibility. It's just at the end of the day, you know, can the Mariners get that done? And is there like even Rengifo, like, okay, Rengifo's having a phenomenal year, dude. He's having a career year. But is he a guy in the lineup that you're gonna plug in there and it's just gonna like change that lineup? Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe you can look at into Miami, and you've got Jazz, you've got Brian De La Cruz that could pump up that offense.
But again, are they
gonna be willing to?
But Ben, the problem
Seattle
with
does have good prospects, so that's at least
they do. But they're probably not trading Harry Ford.
Yeah,
which, you know, limit, because I don't think there's
everybody that they're looking for. So,
but I don't think there's a guy out there that's worth Harry Ford.
Yeah,
I don't. Like, even if Vlad was available, like, I wouldn't trade Harry Ford for Vlad. I wouldn't trade Harry Ford for fucking Pete Alonso.
Mm-hmm.
You know. That's the problem, is I don't think there's a guy in this market right now that's available that is like could absolutely change your lineup, dude.
Yeah.
It just doesn't exist. Rengifo is probably the best hitter available.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with what we're seeing in the National League right now, is that there's really only two teams out of it.
Yeah.
Because you've got the Cubs sitting at the third to worst team and only 5 games out.
they're probably out of it. That team sucks.
You know, maybe the Nats, you know, accept that this isn't going to be their year, and yes, they can fight for a wild card spot, but they're probably not going to get it with the teams that are ahead of them.
Yeah, but like, who are the Mariners going to trade for on the Nats? Jesse Winker?
Oh no, I'm just saying, just saying on, not necessarily for the Mariners.
Because I agree. I think the Nats are going to be sellers, but they're going to be selling off pieces that are free agents at the end of the year, like the Hunter Harveys, the Cortland Finnegans, and the Jesse Winkers of the world. Like, they're not going to trade their young, controllable assets.
Yeah.
It's going to be similar to Baltimore 2 years ago, when Baltimore was in a playoff race and they traded Jorge Lopez, which actually ended up being a blessing in disguise because he was never the same after that. And they got Cade Povich out of that. And they got Yennier Cano. So I think the Nationals definitely are going to be sellers. It's just, I don't think they're going to be, they're selling more high leverage guys than anything. Mm. Now, you the Mets got back to 500. Now they're a game under 500. They're 2 games back of St. Louis in the final wild card. Do they fall out and end up shopping Pete Alonso and the Starling Martes of the world? Maybe even JD Martinez. Like, honestly, JD Martinez would be a great fit in Seattle. So would Pete Alonso, for that matter. But, do the Mets get to that point where they're like, okay, like, we really don't have a chance? Because, like, the Mets starting rotation blows and their bullpen sucks. Like, their bats got absolutely fucking scorching hot.
Yep.
And, how long is that sustainable? I don't know. Francisco Alvarez is a fucking phenomenal player, and ever since he came back is really when they fucking started getting a hot streak. Mark Vientos looks really good. But at the end of the day, is that a team that's going to compete for a wild card spot in 3 to 4 weeks? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be kind of a last-second decision of whether they're going to be buyers or sellers.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you ask me right now, Ben, like, who's going to be the 3 teams to win a wild card spot? I'd be hard-pressed to give you any other team than the 3 that are up there because, St. Louis is, they're looking really good, and, like, Nolan Gorman and Alec Burleson are turning the corner, and both of those guys are playing. They could be all-stars, and Mason Wynn looks every bit of the prospect we all once he thought he was, right? And their starting pitching is really good, and the back end of their bullpen, they're high-leverage guys, and Helsley, Kittredge, and JoJo Romero are 3 of the best guys. Helsley leads all of Major League Baseball in saves at this point of the year. And he's the only guy that's thrown more 100-mile-an-hour fastballs than him is Mason Miller.
Yeah, the only team that I'd say that you have the possibility of dropping out is going to be Atlanta.
I don't think so though.
Because of their injuries. I mean, they're slowly losing that lead. Because they were up at 7 2 weeks ago, and now we're at 3.5.
I mean, they could fall out.
Last week they were at 4, so they only lost a half a game. But
who do you trust surpassing them? Like, the Giants are hella banged up. Reds, I keep saying, like, oh, they're getting healthy, and then there's games where they look phenomenal and they look like the old Reds, and then there's games where they look like a terrible fucking team, dude.
I mean, it's going to be interesting because we're going to see probably a lot of negative regression from these Braves pitchers.
Yeah.
That's what I worry about for the second half of the season.
Well, Fried and Sale, I think, are good. And Reynaldo Lopez has been phenomenal. That's the guy that's probably going to regress the most.
Yeah. But also, you're asking older pitchers to throw a lot of innings. And that's, I think, where
I'd rely on older pitchers throwing a lot of innings and younger guys that have never reached that number of innings.
Yeah, but I think their arms are going to slow down just a little bit, and that could cause major issues for the Braves. It depends. I mean, it depends on the Diamondbacks. How do they play up to the standards that they did last year in the second half of the season? If they do, they can easily take 2.5 games. If the Giants pitching gets healthy, that could easily get them 3 games back into it. If Pittsburgh goes on any sort of a run, they have that capability. Are they going to do it? Probably not. But, the Pittsburgh and Cincinnati is at that same place. Like, these 2 teams can go on a run, and you fucking blink an eye, they're on a 10-game win streak and they're in that final position.
Yeah, I think with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, I don't know if the pitching is good enough. Pittsburgh, obviously, the starting pitching is great, with Jared Jones and Paul Skeens. But, I mean, you're talking about 2 rookies that are already approaching the most innings they've ever pitched in their lives. So, what does that look like for the rest of the season? And then on the flip side, on the other side of it is, their bullpen, the Pirates at least, is they have injuries to their bullpen, and then the Reds don't have a bullpen. So it's a little bit of there. But I mean, the Reds' biggest issue is like they've been inconsistent hitting the ball, but a big part of that is because they've had so many injuries. Now they're getting healthy, so we'll see what that looks like. I mean, they haven't even got Matt McClain back. They got Noelvi Marte back. Look good this weekend.
Yeah,
but we'll see where that goes. The Giants, Jorge Soler is heating up, and you've seen what that has done to that lineup. Helio Ramos came up, looks really good. Patrick Bailey's starting to get healthy.
Harrison should be back pretty soon.
Yeah.
Which is a hit. I think Snell said he's going to have one more minor league start before he comes back to the bigs. So if he comes back healthy, that could be a big thing. And then, I mean, we still got Robbie Ray that could, it's a big 50-50, could come back and help this, even if he's a 4 or 5 starter.
Yeah.
That will be a big help to this.
Giants need bullpen help, though.
No, absolutely. Giants definitely do.
And they could also use a Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
Lamont Wade just came back, though, which is huge.
Yeah.
That's a big lift to that lineup.
We need a fucking second baseman so we don't have to play fucking Estrada.
Yeah. At least we don't have to see Ramos out there all the time now.
Helium?
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, Wilmer Flores.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, I'm happy with Ramos.
Yeah, no, Ramos is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the Giants, same thing with the Reds. They just gotta get healthy. And
I think you take some huge confidence out of this series win against the Dodgers.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
You can utilize that to push through to the second half. The rest of this first half is difficult for the Giants, but the second half of the schedule isn't as hard as this first half has been. So that's why I think we could see some catching up from them, and they're only 3 games back from that wild card spot. So that's where I think, okay, there might be a chance to get that last spot.
I agree. There's a path.
Yeah.
There is a path, and a lot of it has to do with them just getting healthy.
Yeah. And a lot of these teams have paths. So it's so tight. We can see the Diamondbacks make a run for it. We can see the Mets possibly make a run for it. I think they've got a harder path. The Nats could be a surprise. Fucking James Wood coming in and, could really amp up this team. He's supposed to play tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yep.
Yeah.
He's playing tomorrow, and that's a huge addition, man.
Yeah.
That is a massive addition to that team that, could very well propel them the same way that Adley coming up in 2022 propelled the Orioles.
Yeah.
I very much think that that's a great possibility, and my issue with the Nats though is that they have a lot of young starters, dude.
Yeah.
Mackenzie Gore, DJ Ers, Mitchell Parker, like a lot of these guys are relying on to pitch in the rotation are very young. So
yeah.
That's my concern with the Nats. And that's why if I'm the Nationals, I'm like, I wouldn't mind entertaining trading Hunter Harvey or Finnegan, because you're selling at their highest point.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day is like relievers are I don't want to say a dime a dozen, but like we see every year where relievers get picked up in free agency and they end up having great years. You know what I mean? Like, Kimbrel had a bad year last year and he's been great for the Orioles this year. Like, it's just so up and down for relievers and depending on their roles, and they're always available. So I think trading relievers and getting, more prospects that can come through your system in the next 2-3 years, I think is perfect for that organization.
Yeah.
So, and I wouldn't be shocked if at the end of the year they're still, hanging around the wild card spot, because they have that much talent they have a lot of talent on that team.
Yep.
A lot of fucking talent. And same with the Pirates. I think the Pirates are in a similar position where, like, they could very much entertain trading some veteran guys that, probably aren't going to be there long term and still have enough young talent that they're hanging around there at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So that's where those teams are. The Mets on the other side, they have a lot of veterans. So it's like, if they start trading off older pieces and stuff, what's that look like for them?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've had a lot of fun with this Mets team, dude. This Grimace run was phenomenal, but I do think there's regression coming for that offense, dude.
Oh,
and we've seen it kind of the last 2 days.
Yep.
You know, they scored 5 runs in an inning against the Astros on Saturday, and they probably should have only scored maybe 1. It was a lot of bad defense, and that's why they scored. And then they didn't score the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fucking Astros came back and won the game.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think this Nationals Mets series coming up this week, I think this is huge for both of these teams.
Yep.
The Mets last time they played the Nationals, that's when they really went on their run. So I do think that the Nationals got some revenge out for them.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. But the Orioles too, Ben, they were on Sunday Night Baseball obviously tonight, and you know, they were talking a lot about the trades that they can possibly make, and obviously the Orioles have to make a trade, dude. Their starting rotation is in shambles with Bradish down and Tyler Wells down and Dean Kramer. You know, he should be back soon, but at the end of the day, is like they need another starter for a playoff series.
Yeah.
So I think that's huge, and I was talking to someone today, and they were like, "Well, who do you think they're going to go get?" And I said, if Tariq Skubal, if the Tigers make him available, Tariq Skubal.
Yep, or Crochet. I mean, he's already announced that he is not re-signing.
Well, they were working on an extension, but Tariq Skubal is much better. Tariq Skubal,
absolutely, yeah, he's got the history behind him. Crochet is just hot right now.
Yeah, well, Skubal is hotter right now too.
Yeah,
if the season ends today, Skubal is your AL Cy Young.
Yeah, it's also tough when you're on the fucking dog shit White Sox.
But this is the thing. No, because Skubal's been a lot better than Crochet.
Oh, absolutely.
This is the thing with Skubal, dude.
He's also on a better team.
This is the thing with Skubal, though. If the Orioles trade for Tariq Skubal, they're by far and away World Series favorites. You give me Corbin Burns, Skubal, and Grayson Rodriguez in a playoff series against all these other teams. Who's matching that?
Pitching wise,
the Phillies maybe, but they're in the National League.
Yeah, no, pitching wise, the only match would be Seattle, but they don't have the bats.
They don't have bats then you have that Orioles lineup.
Yeah,
you got Gunnar Henderson, Adley, fucking Kerstad's playing hella well.
I worry about Gunnar and doing the home run derby because a lot of these guys, when they come back from doing the home run derby, they do not hit well.
Adley did the home run derby last year, and he was better in the second half.
Huh. Yeah.
I think it just depends on what type of hitter you are.
Yeah.
And I think Gunnar and Adley both are like, they're more of hitters that are always trying to hit the ball hard regardless. So
yeah,
they're not like.
Well, I think they know how to hit a home run in BP and then come back and not try to be hitting home runs. I think that the home run derby puts a lot of prowess on you to just go out and only hit home runs. And they're more of all-around hitters that they can.
I thought last year it helped Adley start to lift the ball more, where like he was hitting more like ground balls and line drives, and it helped him hit the ball at a better launch angle to get the ball up, so you're not hitting ground balls, and that's important. So I thought that helped him last year. Like this year, I think it would be great for Julio to do because Julio's been fucking beating the ball into the ground. It's like, bro, go do the home run derby. But on the flip side, like Tariq Skubal, if he's available, and I'm not saying he's going to be, this is all hypothetical. Tigers haven't. I'd be shocked if they fucking traded him, but his value is obviously at an all-time high. And if I'm Mike Elias and Skubal becomes available, I'm only player that's off limits is Holiday. You can have anybody else. You can have any other prospect you want, dude. Give me Skubal. Because you with that lineup, you got Skubal and Burns. Yeah, it's curtains, dog. Yeah. And Crochet, he's a great pitcher too, but he's already coming up to his career innings, so like I don't know what he's gonna look like in a month, dude. Like he could absolutely fatigue, bro. Which is why, like, I think looking beyond this year, well, even looking beyond this year, Screwball makes more sense because he's controllable through 2027. So you got a good 3-year window with Screwball, and you got a good 3-year window with Crochet as well. But you know, with Crochet coming up on career innings, I would much rather have Screwball by far and away. If Screwball's available, that's my number one target.
Yeah,
and the Orioles can outbid anybody. There's no team that can outbid the Orioles because they have all the prospects.
Yeah, for MLB ready prospects. Yep.
Their prospects are deep. Very, very deep.
Mm-hmm.
They got Enrique Bradfield, Dylan Beavers, Chase McDermott, Mac Horvath, who's a...
Do we trust MLB trade rumors?
MLB trade rumors, I mean, it's all based on, like, beat writers and stuff, but it's all rumors and shit, like...
Oh, I'm just saying that their most recent post. Mariners are reportedly already engaging in trade discussions.
Yeah, they have to. Like, dude, they're literally, dude, they were like 9 games up in first place 2 weeks ago, and now they're only 3.5 up. Like,
yeah,
bro, that offense is so bad, Ben. Like, bro, if I'm the Mariners, honestly, I'd pick up the phone and I would call someone like the Orioles, and I'd be like, yo, I'll give you George Kirby for fucking, Heston Kjerstad, Norby, and another prospect, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Kjerstad walks in there tomorrow, he's their best hitter.
Which is crazy how we started there. Yeah.
Like, it's a no-brainer to me. Like, that team needs I know losing Kirby sucks, but I mean, you still have Castillo, you still have Gilbert, you still have Bryce Miller. You know, you still got good starters. So, like, why not use your advantage and use a guy that you have a plethora of and go get something that you absolutely need right now? And you could probably get Austin Hayes or Mullins. You could probably get one of those two, and then like 2 hitting prospects for Kirby, MLB ready. Like, all 3 of those guys walk into your lineup tomorrow, and they're your best hitters, dude. Like, to me, it's a no-brainer, bro. They could have had Kowser for fucking Gilbert in the offseason. And not only Kowser, like, they could have had other prospects too. Like, Kowser was the main piece in the deal, and they turned it down. Look at Milwaukee. Joey Ortiz has been fucking a blessing for them.
Yeah.
And I think we could see a lot of trades like that this year because so many teams are in the playoff hunt, where it could be like, I'll trade you something I have a lot of depth in for something you have a lot of depth in.
Mm.
You know? Because, I mean, dude, these dog shit teams, like, who are you really trading for, dude? Like,
yeah.
Okay, the White Sox, you got Robert and you got Crochet, but do the White Sox want to trade Luis Robert at, like, the lowest value he has because he hasn't been good this year? Who knows? They might wait and trade him in the offseason. Hope he bounces back in the rest of this year. The Rockies, who they trading? Garrett Stallings? They're not trading Tovar.
No, they're not going to get rid of their main pieces.
Maybe they listen on Ryan McMahon, which I think that would actually be a great move for the Mariners. The Mariners should call the Rockies for Ryan McMahon. That's who they should trade for.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have a third baseman. And Ryan McMahon walks into their lineup tomorrow, he's their best hitter.
Yeah, it would be.
Although he's not hitting the cores no more.
Yeah. That will also probably change a lot of items there. Man, their depth is so fucking hurt. Man.
Who?
Colorado.
Yeah, but I mean, they got some good hitters, dude. Like, Brandon Rogers is good.
Yeah.
Tovar is good, but Brendan Rodgers and Tovar are like, they're so young. They're not going to trade them, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan McMahon, I could definitely see them trading.
Yeah, Tovar is their future.
Stallings, they could trade. Blackman, they would love to trade, but I don't think anyone wants to pick up his contract.
Nope.
So they're kind of like stuck with that. Or they trade him for like nothing. Or they trade him and they agree to pay his contract and get something in value in return.
Mm-hmm.
Montero's hurt. Elias Montero, so I thought he was going to get traded. What?
He got hurt, huh?
Yeah, so and I thought he would have been a good trade candidate, especially for a team like the Phillies when JT Realmuto went down.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would have been a great pickup for them. So we'll see. I mean, honestly, the Rockies might have the best prospects. Maybe not the best prospects, but they got some good pieces. Ryan McMahon's hella good.
Yeah,
I'm high on Ryan McMahon.
Brenton Doyle maybe gets traded.
Maybe. I mean, how many years he got? He's still under arbitration, I think.
Okay. He's 26. Yeah, he's likely still under arbitration.
Yeah, he's probably got like 2 or 3 more years of arb.
Oh yeah, because he's only had 2 years in the big, so
yeah, he's got 4 more years of control, dude. There's no way he's getting traded. Not this year, at least.
Yeah.
I mean, they could if they got a fucking. I don't know if any team's gonna give him like a.
Yeah, they won't give him what they want.
Yeah. Because that's the thing with Mason Miller is like, if you're the A's, like you absolutely shop him, but are you really gonna get the return that you want for a guy with 5 more years of club control?
Mm-hmm.
Who's the best closer in baseball? I doubt it. But if a team, and I'm just gonna throw the Orioles out there because it's easy to use. If the Orioles throw like a package together like Connor Norby and Horvath and Gabriel, it's like you have to really consider it, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Or do the A's sell everything off, and because they know they're going to be in Sacramento playing next year?
Yeah, but also the A's are like hella young, and they actually got some nice pieces, and like if you look at it, like we got JJ Bleday, Geloff, Langeliers, Esteury Ruiz, he's hurt. He's gonna say
is Ruiz probably gonna get traded?
Nah,
but if he's hurt.
He's hurt. He's gonna come back. And
who's the other guy that was wearing the bracelet?
I don't know, but the team they got good pieces, dude. It's just their rotation's been in shambles, dude. Now that's really what killed them. I mean, their rotation wasn't good to begin with, but when your rotation isn't good and those guys get hurt, you're really fucked.
Yeah, there was a time where they were playing good that first month of the season.
Yeah, they look like a real ball club, and I mean they still got like they got good young pieces. They just need to keep building, man. And Jacob Wilson's coming up. The other Max Muncy. They got some good young talent, man. Plus they also got top 3 pick this year is probably going to be Jack Caglione from Florida, which is what I'm reading. But either way, they're getting a good ball player this year. And look at Wyatt Langford. Wyatt Langford got drafted by the Rangers last year. He just hit a further cycle tonight. Yep. Kid's hella good. I'm surprised he made it up before Dylan Cruz did, Ben. Mm-hmm. I thought Cruz would be the first one up.
Especially with how that Texas team is built. But, man, he's good. His lights out.
He's good. He's a good player. Man, it's crazy that draft last year. Skeens got drafted last year. He's up. Mm-hmm. Wyatt Langford got drafted last year. He's up. These college kids are getting better and better, dude.
Well, especially the ones that stay for a while.
That's why MLB teams are drafting them now, because they don't even have to fucking develop them because they're getting developed in college.
In college, yeah.
So it's like, all right, we'll draft you, and then in a year you're in the bigs.
Yep.
Hopefully, because honestly, college ball at this point is probably way better than single and double A, at least. I mean, just look what Skeens did in triple A this year, dude. That shit was insane.
Yep.
It's also a testament to how good the big leaguers are.
Yeah. And also shows for the college level is that the NIL is super helpful for them.
Yes. Good point. Very, very good point, Ben. All right, let's get some best bets for tomorrow.
Here we go.
You got anything?
I haven't even looked, to be honest.
All right.
I know we only have three baseball games tomorrow.
I got 3 bets for tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Well, I got 2 bets for tomorrow, and then I got a bet for like the next couple weeks, which we're gonna have to write out. The first one is Nationals money line. I got it at plus 100 earlier, even money. It's like the best line I see now is, let me see. I just had it up. You can still get even money out there. You can still get plus 100. You can get plus 103. I like the Nats tomorrow. I do think that there's some Mets regression coming, and Drew Peterson's on the mound, and he hasn't been good at all. He has like a 6.4 expected ERA, almost a 5 xFIP. Nats haven't hit lefties necessarily well, but Drew Peterson blows. Mets hit lefties very well, but Mackenzie Gore just saw this team like 2 weeks ago. They hit him pretty hard. I expect Mackenzie Gore to learn from that start and kind of and just be a little bit better tomorrow. I like the Nats. I also like the Rockies money line. I got it plus 140. I would play it to plus 130, 128.
Dogs tomorrow.
Yeah. I'm telling you, dude, tomorrow everybody and their mom is gonna have a Mets, Brewers, what's the other team, Ben? Astros. Yeah, it's gonna be Astros, Mets, Brewers parlays all day. Dogs are gonna be barking. Rockies play good at home. Alex Gomber under a sub 3.5 ERA at home, been much better. Brewers do not hit lefties particularly well, and Austin Gomber's been very good against lefties, which the Brewers have a lefty-heavy lineup. So I like the Rockies plus $1.40 tomorrow. And then we're going to go Taylor Fritz to win Wimbledon, plus 4,200. Yes, I know. It's a long shot. It's a long shot. We're going to throw some pizza money on it. The reason being is because Taylor Fritz has been very good on grass this year. He's already won a grass title. He's playing the best tennis of his career heading into this match. He's the best American, okay, which isn't saying much. He's not Sinner, he's not Alcaraz, I know, but his path is very, very doable, dude. If you look at the Wimbledon bracket, like going in, his biggest threat heading into the quarterfinals is Sasha Zverev, which he'll face in the 4th round if they both get there. But if for some reason Zverev gets upset, like he's coasting to the quarterfinals, dude. So once you get there, you can hedge, because let's just say you throw $50 on it. That's 4,200 plus 4,200. You're gonna win about $2,100.
You got a really good number there too, because I'm seeing Fritz at plus 3,500.
No fucking way, dude. AK and I bet this literally right before we went on this fucking show.
There you go. It's plus 3,500.
But hear me out. Even 3,500, I think, is doable, because if you get to the quarterfinals, you can literally start hedging and guarantee yourself a profit. And he has such an easy path to the quarterfinal. Really, you just got to get past Zverev. That's it. So we're playing Fritz plus 4,200 to win Wimbledon. Let's fucking go, dude.
There you go.
I'm not gonna lie, AK's like, he hit me. We were texting earlier, and he was like, have you looked at anything in Wimbledon? I was like, yeah, dude, actually, I've been like thinking about playing Taylor Fritz. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, dude, go look at his fucking draw, dude. Like, he's got a nice draw. And I was like, I would love to play fucking Sinner, but Sinner's plus $1.70.
Oh, see, Sinner's now $1.50.
Jesus Christ, dude. Like,
yep.
I was like, bro, he's got to beat out. Like, there's still 120 players in this. Like, $1.70 is crazy, bro.
No.
As much as I think he's going to win.
Joker plus 250.
And Joker just had knee surgery.
Yeah. Still plus 250.
That's a terrible number. I just think for the playing Taylor Fritz, dude, there's just so many hedging possibilities because his draw. Like, I definitely think we're definitely getting to round 4. So then we got Zverev, and then you can even start hedging there, dude. You could take fucking Sasha Zverev to win that match, and even if you lose, right, you got Taylor Fritz in the quarterfinals, dude, and now you like really have good hedging capabilities. So I like that. Wimbledon starts tomorrow, by the way, fellas. Women, ladies. On the women's side, I just don't know if there's much value because Iga Swiatek she looks like the best player in the world. Maybe throw a little pizza money on Naomi. She's looked a lot better recently.
Let's see. Iga is plus 300.
Really?
Naomi plus 1,500. Yeah, Swiatek and Sabalenka are both plus 300s. Coco 550. Naomi 1,500.
I don't hate Osaka 1,500. Like, she's been playing a lot better, and obviously before she like went through the mental health shit and having a kid, she was like the best fucking woman on the planet. So
yep.
She's still hella young. She's only like 22 years old.
Yeah.
It's a weird time of year too because a lot of these players are going to play in the Olympics right after. So
oh wow, yeah.
It's a lot. It's different than normal Wimbledon years. You know what I mean? But
interesting.
I do like Fritz, man. And you know me, dude. Betting against sinners, don't like doing it, dude.
No, it's a tough.
But I was telling AK, hopefully we get to the final and we got Sinner versus Fritz, and we can just bet Sinner and guarantee ourselves some money, dude.
Yep.
Either way, or we just let it ride. It's just pizza money.
Yep. There we go.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Make sure to tap in on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we'll be talking Major League Baseball for the Wednesday slate. Breaking it down, getting some best bets, so definitely tap in there. Like Ben said, tomorrow's a really small baseball slate, so my best advice is don't parlay all the favorites, because one or two of these dogs is winning. I know the Mets and Nats are basically a pick 'em, which is honestly as telling as ever.
Yeah, Mets are minus 115.
Minus $1.15?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll take the Nationals plus $1.05.
Plus 100.
Yeah, I'd play the Nats at even money all day. All right, y'all. Thank you for tapping in with us. Make sure to download the Sharps app, SHARPZ. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download, free to use. Track your bets. Become a better. Sharps app. Follow us on Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Taproom_sports. Follow myself at Jordan Rules TSP on Twitter. We'll be back on Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Around then, 9 p.m., 9:30. Follow our Twitch page. Subscribe. Twitch.tv/Taproom Sports. If you missed any of this podcast, you can find it on all the podcast platforms: Spotify, Amazon, Google, Apple Podcasts. Tap Room Sports Podcast. Search it up. Tap Room Sports Podcast. For Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson, I'm Jordan Stacks on Stacks on Stacks Slats. We're out. Peace.
Later.